What's going on, YouTube? Mr. Wheels here once again, welcoming you to another edition of Sports Talk. This video is another 2016 World Junior video. I'm going to quickly recap the quarterfinals and mostly talk about the semifinals. Now, in the semifinals, we have Finland versus Sweden, Russia versus the USA. If I could sum that up in one word, I would say rivalry. Rivalry games. Obviously, there's a rivalry between Finland and Sweden. Everybody remembers the 1980 Miracle on Ice rematch in the semifinal versus USA and Russia. So, lots to look forward to. But let's quickly talk about the quarterfinals, and most importantly, Denmark versus Russia. Now, when I was making my quarterfinal video, Russia-Denmark was already on, and I checked the score. It was about 3 minutes in, and it was already 1-0 for Russia. While I finished my quarterfinal video, turned the game back on, was just going into the second period, and within 3 minutes, with 3 minutes into the second period, Denmark had tied it up. Then they took the lead about 2 minutes after that, and Russia tied it up about near the end of the second period, and the Russians came out flying in the third, outshot the Danes 15-0 in the first half of the third. Then the Danes did the unthinkable and took the lead again, only to lose in overtime to the Russians. By far, in my opinion, that Denmark-Russia game was the best game in the quarterfinals. Then I watched Sweden versus Slovakia, and it sucked in comparison to the first quarterfinal game. Sweden took it easily 6-0. The Slovakians had a good goaltender, but that's about all they had. I really question where they're going with their program, unlike the Danes that want to take baby steps and get better every year. Slovakia has been in the middle of the standings of these tournaments for a while with no real improvement. I've already talked about Canada versus Finland. Click the annotation there if you haven't seen the video. What I will say is, if you were to ask a lot of Canadian hockey fans what went wrong, they'd probably point to, the questionable penalty calls that Canada took late in the game, but Canada had a 2-goal lead. They didn't keep it. The Finns showed up, even though Canada chased the Finns starting goaltender from the net. Finland's top line showed up. They came back from down 2 goals and eventually won the game. So all the credits to the Finns. Don't forget to click the video if you want more of a post-game reaction. I did not watch the USA versus the Czech Republic, which leads us to the finals happening tomorrow. Let's start with Finland and Sweden. Now, very quickly I could say I expect Sweden to come out and take this game no problem. I mean, Söderström, their goaltender, in my opinion, is arguably the best goaltender in the tournament. Sweden, their only test has really been the USA, and they beat them 3-2. I expect Finland to give the Swedes all they can handle once again. The top line of Aho, Puljujärvi, and Lane. I'm sorry if I said those names wrong, but those three guys have been dominating the tournament in scoring. If they show up against Sweden, then Finland's got a chance. But I fully expect Sweden to continue to do what they've been doing. It honestly looks like nothing phases them. And it reminds me a lot of the way Canada played last year. I mean, it didn't matter who the Canadians played last year. They beat everybody. Even the Russians in the gold medal game, as the Russians made their comeback, Canada looked poisoned. poised. And the reason I bring that up is because Sweden looks the same way. But, you know, if anybody can knock them off in the semifinals, it would be the Finns. The Finns will, you know, they're still very much a gold medal contender. I question their goaltending after, you know, they gave up 5 goals between both of their goalies to the Canadians, who were one of the lowest scoring teams in the tournament. But, you know, it's going to be a very close game, but I'm picking Sweden to move on to the gold medal game. Now, let's talk about USA and Russia. You know, Russia's another one of these teams that in the quarterfinals, they showed weakness in net. Georgiev, you know, giving up 3 goals against Denmark, not very good. Russia's defense has to be a lot better. They need to move the puck and use their speed like they can. Problem is that the USA has very good goaltending, and I'm not going to try to pronounce the guy's name because it's a name I can't pronounce. But, you know, the USA has speed and uses a good transition game just as well as the Russians are capable of. So, Russia and USA, that game will probably be even closer, I would suspect, between the game between Finland and USA or Finland and Sweden rather, because even though Finland and Sweden will be close, I think Sweden is the better team. Sorry for Finnish fans, that's just the way I feel. Whereas USA and Russia, you know, their styles of play are different, but they are, like, talent-wise, they are very, very similar. And I think the USA might have the edge in net, but as the Russians have shown in this tournament, they came back against Finland. They weathered the scare against the Danes. So I fully expect Russia to somehow come out on top, and it to be, I'm predicting Sweden, Russia final, and a USA-Finland bronze medal game. And I think the Finns are good enough with their scoring alone to take the bronze medal. And I think the wheels have to fall off at some point for USA, because even though they're a good team, I don't think they're as good of a team to actually win a medal. So that's pretty much all I have. I got Sweden and Russia moving on, Finland to take the bronze medal. Not going to pick a gold medal winner because that game, no matter who's there, is going to be awesome. Can't wait for it. Hope you guys are excited. Remember to give this video a like. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I could really use the support. Thank you for all the support so far for these series of videos. That's all I have for right now. I'll see you next time.